Hey folks, and welcome to Truck King. Sitting next to me today is the Ford Maverick fit with the Tremor off-road package. Now Tremor for F-150 and Ranger makes a lot of sense, but should it have really come to this small Maverick? Well, today we're gonna go off-road, and that's the exact question we'll look to answer. Let's start with the Walkaround. So the engine underneath the hood is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's making 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque, and that is sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course all-wheel drive. Now the Maverick is a front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive vehicle, and the one trick that it has is a dual clutch rear drive unit. So the power goes to that rear differential, and then there's 2 individual clutches in there to control power to either wheel. So it can send more torque to one wheel or the other, or it can also mimic a locker by locking up both of those clutches. So what else do you get when you go for the Tremor package? The Tremor package brings along a 1-inch lift, unique styling, of course. You get all these orange accents, you get the orange painted pockets down there in the wheels, and then maybe the most important upgrade, a set of Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires. Very important to get all-terrains on this truck, and you do. Now underneath you get fully revised suspension tuning, as well as unique shock absorbers on this truck too, and it actually does bring your approach angle up to just a hair over 30 degrees, while ground clearance sits at 9.5 inches. Now around the back, this bed is basically the same as every other Maverick, but that's okay. It's just over 4 feet long, but it is enough to hold a full-size ATV, and if you want the proof, well, we actually loaded a Yamaha Grizzly into this Maverick. You can see it here. So if you've ever wondered, hey, can those little trucks fit a full-size ATV? The answer is yes, but just barely. It was rubbing a little bit, and it had to hop up on those wheel wells. But I think the bed on this Maverick is just big enough. That's been my impression after living it with it for a week. I never went, oh, it's way too small. It is just big enough to do most of those jobs. All right, folks, now I want to show you underneath this Ford Tremor. We start at the nose, and yes, we get 2 prominently featured recovery hooks. I like that. Now another Tremor specific feature is this front skid plate, which is, the magnet tells us, made of steel because it is magnetic. Now there is a plastic skid plate which is very first, so that'll take the first beating and that'll slip back to this. But after this, that is it for metal skid plates. You only get that front plate here on the Tremor. Arguably the most important, but it would have been nice to see something in the middle, maybe at the back as well. Now you do get these kind of material skids, but they're not going to protect you from very much. You can see how flimsy it is right there. So we move to the back. You can see your drive shaft and your exhaust mounted right up in the middle, and we can see the one sort of trick that this thing has is this dual clutch rear drive unit. So essentially right here and right here, there's an individual clutch in there which can send the power to either one of those rear wheels as it sees fit. So that's how the locker works. It essentially just locks up both of those clutches, but it's not a real locker because ultimately these can still slip, whereas a physical locker, well, it's actually locked. And then yes, back there at the back, you are getting a full-size spare tire, which is pretty handy. How about towing and payload? Well, for the tow rating, the Maverick Tremor can pull up to 2,000 pounds, and yes, that is less than the standard Maverick, which can pull up to 4,000 pounds. And then for payload, on our test model, it came in at 1,225 pounds. And now, folks, it's already time to head off-road. And this is some crazy weather we're having. It is the middle of April and it is 20 degrees Celsius here today. I'm actually even sweating a little bit, which is just crazy warm for us this early in the year. And what that means is out here on the trails, we had a really fast snow melt. So there's loads of water where there normally isn't water. And then the spots where there normally is, well, it's just crazy deep. So we will be hitting that. Now, as I drive out here, though, to the trickier spots, I do want to just talk about what I mentioned off the top. Should the Maverick Tremor even exist? Well, that's not the question that you have to look at. The question is, why does it exist? And the answer is that the off-road segment in automotive in general, but especially in pickup trucks, is the hottest segment right now. And just think about how many different trim levels we have. We have Maverick Tremor, and we have Tremor for F-150 and for the HD trucks. Of course, Ford also has FX4. Oh, bit of deep snow here. One last section. Like I said, it is April, so we do have some snow on the trail. But you know what? Those Falcons felt really good coming through there. No problem at all. So, like I was mentioning, the off-road segment, this whole, all of these trim levels, they're just extremely popular right now. So manufacturers are going to keep building them as long as people buy them. Tremor, like I mentioned, is right across the range. And then you still have FX4. I mean, at GM, you have ZR2 and you have Trail Boss, AT4, AT4X. At Ram, you have the off-road package, and then you have the Rebel, and then you have the TRX. So you see where I'm going with this. And then the other trend is that in crossovers, we're also getting these things like the RAV4 TRD off-road, or the Trail Sport lineup from Honda, Wilderness lineup from Subaru. So if you just look across the industry, these off-road adventure-focused type vehicles, they're just what is selling right now. So that's why the Maverick Tremor exists. Because again, frankly, this is not an off-road vehicle. It's not the vehicle you think, hey, that would make a great off-roader, because you just don't have the clearance. It's still unibody rather than body on frame. You can't really fit bigger tires without significant modifications. But like we like to say on the channel, there is a difference between an off-roader and a rough-roader. And this is definitely a rough-roader. It's the kind of vehicle where, yeah, if you are actually going out, let's say, hiking, and you have to get to the trailhead, and it's down a kind of a bush road, this is the kind of vehicle that's going to get you there. It's not the kind of vehicle where I would buy it and, you know, go to the off-road park just to have fun. So with that kind of setup in your mind, let's go hit our trails now, and we'll see how it does. And we're gonna head over to the trail that we call Wall Street, which is just a really rough, uneven trail. We finished cutting it, actually we made it wider, but we just did that last year. And when we had the backhoe, the huge tires on that thing, it really caused some big ruts and some trail damage. But that's actually good for testing, because you'll see some of the angles we get on. So let's jump into some tricky off-roading here. As we approach the next tricky section here, I will go through the drive mode. So we have normal mode, tow haul mode, slippery mode, mud ruts, and sand. So I'm actually gonna slip it over into mud and ruts mode right now. You get the nice graphic. And then the other thing that does is there is a four-wheel drive lock setting. That just means it's always sending power to the rear rather than just sending it when it slips. So I now have the four-wheel drive lock on. And you know what? Let's go ahead and also put on the rear locker. So now I have four-wheel drive lock, rear locker, mud and ruts mode. This thing is ready as it's gonna be. And right here, I got these tricky rocks. Although, you know what? On this trail, the easiest way is to just go around them, which I think I can do. So coming up to that rock on the passenger side now. Nice. See, I think I can almost fully avoid it. I'm gonna come a little wider towards Dad. Oh, there's my rear climbing. Oh! Nice! Well, let me tell you, the first extremely noticeable thing here is just the size. You know, I did say that this vehicle is not an off-roader, but let me tell you, it's so great to get out here in smaller vehicles. We're so used to half tons, HDs, big trucks. Coming out here in something like this right away, it just feels so compact, and it feels, you know, nice, and just feels the right size for our kind of tight treed trails. Now coming up here, we have some deeper ruts, and they are full of water. And this time I'm gonna put my tire right down in that wheel well, and we will see, or right down in that rut, I should say, and we'll see if it'll dig itself out. So it's deep on the passenger side, and I am purposefully crawling through here. I don't want any momentum. That was the first bit of rubbing right there. as it sinks down into that hole. And then, wow, didn't even slip. Belly rub right there. But not bad. Honestly, not bad. Oh, belly rub right there. I'm in these deep ruts. So a couple belly rubs, because these ruts have been made by bigger tires and bigger vehicles. But you know what? Give the Tremor big credit, and even more so, give these Falken Wild Peaks credit. A good set of all-terrain tires makes such a big difference on terrain like this. And so that's it for Wall Street. The Maverick Tremor just made Wall Street look super simple. This actually might even be a step above a rough roader. You know what? The clearance felt okay. I did get the belly rubs, but my nose never dragged, which is nice. So that approach angle feels decent. Yeah, you know what? I expected it to be worse, I'll be totally honest. But I'm coming through there feeling pretty confident. And now I'm driving back into the snow. I'm gonna go right into the deep stuff. Let's see what it does. Momentum, momentum, momentum. It chugged its way through the snow too. Man, yeah, I'm gonna give it up to the tires again. I gotta say, I think they're the reason I'm feeling so good out here. All right, folks, well now we're going to test the water fording capabilities. We came over here to what we call Tracy's Meadow, and it is a lake. It is absolutely underwater, but what the heck, we're going for it today. Yes, Maverick. It feels great, power feels good. In the low end, it's got plenty. Grip from the tires is nice. Locking it in four-wheel drive clearly makes a difference, because there hasn't been a single situation where the front tires have slipped and then the rear has engaged. The rear has just been driving this entire time. So yeah, even fording through that water, man, the little old Maverick, it feels pretty good. So folks, we do have this little bit of snow here in the parking lot. It's not a lot, but I want to use it to show off one other feature, which is trail control. That has been added here to the Tremor, the Maverick. What trail control is it's off-road cruise control. So I can set my speed using my cruise control buttons. I'll go ahead and set the speed at 9 kilometers an hour. And then when I lift off the brake, the Tremor is going to handle gas and brake for me. And you know what? I'm not going to put it in any special mode. I'm going to leave it in normal mode so nothing's locked up. Let's see if it can figure out this snow all by itself. And I'm into it now. Nice. So it did. Oh, it's chugging. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, Tremor. Figure it out, figure it out. It's doing it, nice. So you can see, it's stuck in again. Come on, Tremor, figure it out, man. I was fully stuck in. Uh-oh, I'm fully stuck. I'm fully stuck. Well, I thought maybe it could do it, but hold on, let's give it a chance. I'm gonna put it in reverse. Trail control also works in reverse. Uh-oh, I might be really stuck. Oh no! Okay, hold on. I have a couple more tricks up my sleeve. I have rear locker, I have four-wheel drive, and I have slippery mode. Let's see if those will do it for me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Okay, coming forward now. Trail control, dig me out of here, trail control. Come on, come on. Yes! Well, actually, what that proved wasn't that trail control couldn't figure it out. So trail control went in there, but I went in without anything locked up, totally normal mode. And you could see it, the front wheel started to slip, and then it sat there for a second, it thought about things, it sent power to the rear, but that was too late. Without momentum in the snow like that, and it's really soft, wet snow, I just sank right into it. So then I had to work it kind of back and forth to get out. But once I locked up the rear, once I put it in four-wheel drive lock, once I turned on the drive mode, out it came. So all of those systems on this truck, you can see it. I think they do really make a legitimate difference. Well, folks, we've come to the end of this video, and I'm happy we were able to get out today because we had that unique mix of lots of water, a bunch of mud, and then even some deep snow. So we really got to test this Maverick Tremor. And I do have to say, I'm coming away pretty impressed. No, it's not a crazy off-roader just because of what the package is, but the additions made here from the Tremor package are legitimate off-road upgrades. So if you are looking to go a little bit further with your Maverick, the Tremor is a good choice. Well, folks, that's what I think, but of course now I need to hear from you. So go into the comments, let me know what you think of the Maverick and this Tremor package. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and hey, tell us what you want to see out of future off-roading videos. And then as always, come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.